If you need an organized way to control your accessories, this Redrock 6-switch control box with the harness and digital voltmeter will get the job done in your 2007 to 2018 JK Wrangler. Now this will be a great addition if you're in search of an affordable and good-looking solution for all of your accessory lighting, whether you have a couple of lights or you're looking to take up all 6 slots here. Now this will also be great if you're interested in monitoring your voltage with all of your accessories and want to stay in the know of how your setup is doing. Now this will be set up with 6 individual rocker switches to control your individual accessories. And I think what stands out here compared to others is the fact that this is going to have personality to the switches instead of being just a plain or simple design. Now these will have labels on each of them for work lights, light bar, a windshield light bar, off-road lights, rear lights, and of course the most necessary, which are zombie lights. Now this will also allow you to tailor your wiring to your specific setup and monitor it right in the middle here. Now there you'll see a digital voltmeter showing you exactly how much voltage your battery is operating with and categorizing it with red, orange, and green LEDs, so it shows you where you should stand in that range. Now the kit here will be a very well put together system. Now the rocker panel will be made of a tough steel material with a black powder coat finish on top, and that's going to house all of your switches and the wiring that's needed to run down the A-pillar into the engine bay. And I also like that this is all pre-wired for you and is going to plug into the main harness with a plug-and-play setup while also being super organized, so you don't have to worry about any of that and can keep some peace of mind there. Now that will come to the control box, which is also made of a tough steel with a nice black powder coat finish on it, and that's going to house all of your relays and your connections when you're making the attachments here. Now these are going to be all of your relays on your circuit board here. There's going to be multiple fuses, making sure that everything is safe and sound, and down here at the bottom is where you're going to attach all of your lighting to. Now the harness here will also house a fuse and a kill switch for safe operation, again being a very straightforward design, and it's also going to be pretty simple when it comes to install, which we'll show you in just a minute. Now this kit will come in at about $225, which is pretty average for this type of system. Now what I like about this though, compared to other options, is that not only are you putting all of your switches into one place that's super easily accessible compared to singular switches, this is going to go right above your rear view mirror, but this also adds some character to the inside of your rig with these switch designs. And I personally think that if you're in search of a unique option that has enough space for all of your accessories and is going to be a little bit more affordable than some of the super premium choices, then this is going to be for you. Now install, like I said, is going to be pretty simple and straightforward, but I am going to give it a light 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it should take you about an hour to get the job done with some pretty basic hand tools. Now at this point we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of the install and what to expect right now.
For this install you will need a ratchet, extension, 8 and 10 millimeter sockets, Phillips head screwdriver, a box cutter or razor or knife, either a fuse puller or needle nose pliers, and a pair of angle cutters. What's up guys, today we're going to be installing a switch box into our Wrangler, so let's get started. So now we've got our hood popped, and we're going to come over here to our driver's side and locate our ECU, which our fuse block here and our main control panel is going to get mounted to. So we're going to grab our 8mm socket on our ratchet, go ahead and loosen up the 2 bolts on the ECU, slide this into place, and tighten those back down. So now we've come over to our ECU area where our main power supply is going to mount. This is our distribution box. So what we're going to do is remove this upper bolt fully. Then we're going to loosen the 2 bottom bolts from our ECU, slide that out. We're going to mount our power supply, then go ahead and reinstall and tighten down our hardware. So we're going to grab our 8mm socket on our ratchet. We'll go ahead and remove this top bolt. Set that aside. Then we're going to loosen this lower one as well as this lower one. These are tough to see, but they are on each side, and one is down in the bottom corner here. So now that we have those all loosened up, we can go ahead and install our power box. slide that right behind our ECU here. We'll go ahead and reach back in here and reinstall that top bolt. We'll go ahead and tighten everything back down again with our 8mm socket on our ratchet. So now to get to this bolt, we're going to go ahead and add in an extension on our 8mm and ratchet. Go ahead and so now we're going to take all of our wiring harness and route that over to the passenger side so we can hook up to our battery and our fuse block. Now you can feel free to secure this harness up along the back side of your engine or wherever you see fit, kind of make it your own. Your kit does not come with anything to secure it, but zip ties are readily available at any hardware store for a couple cents, and you can zip tie those along the back of this factory harness here and tuck this up out of the way. So next we're going to go ahead and connect our positive and negative wires to our battery itself. So we'll grab our 10mm socket on our ratchet, and then we're going to go ahead and pop our positive terminal nut off first. Take that off. Go ahead and set our positive wire on. Go ahead and reinstall our nut. And we'll tighten that back down again with our 10mm socket. And we can come to our negative one here. Go ahead and get that installed. Reinstall our nut here. And again, tighten that right back down. Clear our wiring out of the way a little bit here. And once we have that connected, we can go ahead and come to our fuse box. We're going to open up our top here. So now we have to find a 12-volt ignition source, and for that we're going to go ahead with this 10-amp fuse here, which is M27, designated by the chart here in your fuse block lid. So we're going to grab our fuse puller. Now if you don't have a fuse puller in, you can use needle nose pliers or something like that to grab your fuse out. So we'll go ahead and get this 10-amp fuse out of here. And we're going to take our supplied fuse tap, which already has a 5-amp in it. We're going to add that 10-amp we just removed into our tap here. Then we're going to go ahead and put that right back in the spot where the 10-amp came out. Make sure that's properly seated. Go ahead and set our fuse puller back into its home. Always good to keep track of that. And we can go ahead and reinstall our fuse block lid. Snap that right back down into place. I'm just going to lay that wire across the side. Close that back up. Now we're going to run our wiring along the back side of our engine beauty cover here. Again, you can secure this up, tuck it in however you'd like. For demonstration purposes, we're just going to run it straight back in line with this factory harness here. Go ahead and get that started. And we'll go over and get the rest situated. So your wiring is going to come with a few of these zip ties holding it kind of together, but we're going to need to cut these off to give us a little bit more slack for our main connector that goes through the firewall into the cab. So we'll go ahead and grab our angle cutters. We'll go ahead and snip those off real quick. And we can go ahead and finish getting our wiring over here. And once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and get ready to route our main connector through the firewall up into the cab so it can connect to our switch box. So now to get our connector through the firewall, we're gonna come right to this side of our brake booster here, and down to the right side of it is gonna be kind of this just blank space grommet. And we've gone ahead and cut a couple slits in it already for previous installs. But if you haven't done that yet, you can go ahead and take a razor or box cutter or knife and just cut a little slit in there. And that's gonna allow you to get your wiring and connector through the firewall into the cab at the easiest spot. So we'll go ahead and get this through now. Now that we have that through, we can go ahead into the cab and pull it the rest of the way in. So now we've come into our cab and we're underneath our driver's side dashboard. Now this part is going to be pretty difficult to see, as where the wiring is coming through is pretty deep back up in here. But if you come to your OBD2 port right here on the left side of your dash, follow that straight back and up, you will feel your connector plug back on your firewall. And we can go ahead and pull that directly through here. We're going to pull as much slack out as we can until that comes tight, like so. So now we're going to run our wiring right up into this recess here next to our dash and our door trim. I'm just going to tuck that in like so. And then once we get up here, we're going to go ahead and remove these A-pillar pieces. And this should just pop right out. And then there's going to be a hole in the inside of the A-pillar right up in here. We're going to send that up through so we can tuck our wiring up in here without disturbing any of the rest of our A-pillar. So now before we get our wiring too far up here, we're actually going to go ahead and remove our freedom panels to give us a little bit easier access to our cross member here to get our harness over to where our switch box is going to mount. So we're going to go ahead and release all our latches and pull our freedom panels off, and then we can go ahead and run our wiring. We'll go ahead and pop the other side off so we can get both of our panels off. Now that we have our freedom panels off, we can go ahead and continue running our wire. So we're going to tuck that back behind this A-pillar cover here. You're going to get it all the way to the top. It's hard to see, but looking through here, you will have a gap to the top side of your cross member cover here, and that's where we're going to go with this. So I grab our wiring. Tuck that in through here. Send that through. And we'll be able to grab it from the top side here. You may need to pull down a little bit more on this cross member. Give yourself some more room. Once we have that, we'll go ahead and pull this through. Make sure it's tucked in over here. We're going to run this below our hooks for our freedom panels as to not impede on their function. Tuck that right in there. We're going to run this right over to here where our switch box is going to mount. So now we've got our wire ran, and our wire is back through our footman hook here. This will give us a little extra room. We're going to go ahead and plug our harness into our switch box. Then we're going to tuck our connector in here. As you can see, ours is on. I'm just going to go ahead and hook that over the footman switch like so. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and peel our adhesive backing off for the back of our panel here. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and fully seat our switch here. So now that we've got an idea of where our switch box bracket is going to sit, we're going to go ahead and pull this off and kind of preset our screws with our Phillips head screwdriver here. We'll go ahead and get those a little bit tighter. Now we'll go ahead and snap our panels back into place. Just make sure everything is nice and snug. All of our excess wiring is out of the way. And then once you're done with all that, you can go ahead and reinstall your Freedom panels. So now you could go ahead and hook up any one of your 6 different switch options here if you wanted to run lighting or whatever you so chose to run off these. These do have some pre-labeled light switches here if you wanted to run actually what they're labeled for, but you could always run something else that you so chose. So it also has a battery voltage monitoring setup. So we have our key on. It's going to tell us our resting voltage. We turn the vehicle on, we can see that the voltage is going to come up. And then if you turn switches, you can see that slightly change, obviously. But you have 6 different options here, and you can always monitor how your battery is doing under load when you have all those lights hooked up. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Redrock 6-switch control box with harness and digital voltmeter for your 07 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.